What's up, everyone? The house guests continue to turn against production for allegedly ruining the game. Plus, we get to see a nastier side of Ava as she digs her claws into Rachel. We've got so much to talk about, so welcome to your live feed update. Right before we get started, if you are new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'm going to be here every single day breaking down everything that's happening in that house, and especially over the next couple of days as we find out all these revelations regarding Rachel Riley's exit. There's going to be lots and lots to talk about, so if you don't want to miss a thing, hit the subscribe button. I'm also going to ask you all to hit the like button. It takes all of 0.2 seconds just to click that little thumbs up down there, and it helps me out more than you even know as a smaller content creator. Every single one of those likes, they really do go a long way. And one more thing, folks, I do put a lot of time and effort into these videos, so if you feel like buying me a coffee or supporting me in any way, shape or form, please consider leaving a super thanks in the comment section below or hitting up my PayPal link in the description. But without further ado, let's get to the update. Alright gang, come on in, sit down, grab yourselves a drink and some snacks because we have got some Big Brother updates. And let me tell you folks, similar to yesterday, it's a juicy one. There's a lot more talk regarding the cast's disappointment in the game mechanics and how I think a lot of people are just feeling a bit of a distaste in their mouth. Now, I know there's a lot of people who are happy with Rachel being gone, but again, like I said yesterday, I've seen a lot of people who, even though they're happy with Rachel not being there, they're kind of like, what? As a fan of the show, they're like, this doesn't seem quite right, in the manner that she's gone. I think a lot more light is going to be shed when we see on Tuesday's episode what actually went down. But I have never, ever in my lifetime as a Big Brother fan seen such a vibe amongst the community. Now, there's never going to be a time where every single person's going to agree on one thing because that's just impossible within the Big Brother community. But the unity of this much and to this extent, I have never seen in my entire lifetime as a Big Brother fan, as a fan of UK, as a fan of US and Canada. I have never seen anything like it. There's just amongst alumni, house guests, and fans, just this kind of outcry as to say, even moving Rachel aside, just where's the game that we know and love, and I think a lot of people are feeling that way and saying a core part of the game is where you get evicted by eviction votes, not by a maze or by some kind of mini game. It doesn't make sense. So I think there's a lot of There's a weird feeling in the air right now as a Big Brother fan, and I think a lot of you know exactly what I mean, and I don't really need to describe it any further. So, the house guests are continuing to feel like they've kind of been shafted a little bit, and thrown out to the wolves with this revelation. So we're going to start with a conversation between Will and Ashley. So Will and Ashley actually said this straight up said to production, to the cameras, "You've ruined the game." Basically, there was something. It was along the essence of, "You've ruined the game, and now it's going to result in a bad winner for Big Brother 27." Now, I don't know if we could go to that extent yet, because I still think there's people in there that could be a good winner. There's still weeks of gameplay to be played out, but I understand what they're meaning, because their worries are basically based in the fact that this used to be a social game, but it doesn't feel like it anymore. So I'm going to elaborate a bit more on another part that was said by Will. So Will says to Ashley, "Backdoors? You can't. It's irrelevant. The social part," and Will's a long-time fan, "the social part is irrelevant. You can literally not even talk to people and just compete and go far in this game. You don't even have to open your mouth. Me, as a viewer, if I was watching this now and then production cut the feeds." Eesh. Let's dig into that for a second, because as a fan right now, that talk there of saying you can literally not even talk to people and just compete and go far in this game, you don't even have to open your mouth. It does bring a question, doesn't it, to the state of the game, where we can kind of go, wow, is the game changing that we know and love? I didn't expect to be having one of these conversations this season. I didn't really ever expect to be having it with Big Brother, to be honest, because it's been solid the whole time. Even when the game has changed, they've still implemented things to balance things out. And I can't really say the same for Survivor, but but Big Brother's always been solid, I think. And to me, we're starting to ask these questions now. You know, is there a new strategy to Big Brother where you just go to the gym constantly before you go into the house? You know, you train for all these physical games to be able to win blockbusters. You train for days and weeks and months on end on making sure that you can do puzzles in less than 30 seconds. In, you know, rolling balls, in throwing things into hoops, to guiding things down, you know, ramps and getting them into the goal at the end. There definitely is a question now where we kind of go, is that the strategy? If you find out that you are cast for the next season of Big Brother, hey, we want to bring you to the next round. We think you'd be a great fit for Big Brother 28. What's your thoughts? And then they go, okay, I'm in. And then you hit the gym. Or maybe you've hit it already if you're even more intent. And you don't really need to worry about the social aspect anymore. Because, again, like what Will and Ashley said there, it's very much, if you can win a blockbuster or you can make it through a maze first, then you're going to make it to the end and you could win the whole thing. I do think social still plays a part because you've still got to get those jury votes. But there's also people who've beasted to the end and haven't really had a good social game that have won in the past. So I don't know. I feel like it reinforces that a little bit more. But yeah, we could debate back and forth about that. I want to throw it to you guys now because we are a genuine point in Big Brother that I don't think we've ever been before in the history of it. So I do want to take a moment. I think it's very important to take a moment. And I want to ask you guys, what are your thoughts? Do you guys feel like... Because... you know, we're all fans here. We all love the live feeds. And I want to know what the live feeders' opinions are. Do we think that this is a point where now the strategy can just become whoever can do puzzles the best and whoever can win Big Brother blockbuster competitions? Do you think the social game has taken a shift to the side now that you can not hit the block for 8 weeks on end and then get sent home on a maze by the sounds of it? I want to know what everybody thinks of that. But yes, I'm going to read that out once more just to hone in on what Will said. You can literally not even talk to people and just compete and go far in this game. You don't even have to open your mouth. Me as a viewer, if I was watching this now, feed cut. Okay, let's talk about the veto results real quick. If you don't want spoilers for that, now's your time to tab off. But folks, with Morgan having won the power of veto the other day, she of course decided to use the power of veto on herself, meaning that she has solidified a spot in the final 7. A massive congratulations to Morgan. Honestly, all I can think of when I talk about... I'd be lying if I said this. Whenever I think of Morgan, all I can think of is the toothbrush. I could pretend right now and be like, no, I take her as a serious competitor, but I'm being real with y'all right now. All I think of is the toothbrush. Anyways, toothbrush aside, Lauren decided to nominate Keanu as the replacement nominee, meaning that this week, either Ashley, Keanu, or Will leave the Big Brother house. So that means within the space of a week, we will lose 3 house guests in the form of Mickey, Rachel, and either Will, Ashley, or Keanu. A big talking point of today is Ava. Now, Ava has had a tumultuous ride on Big Brother 27 from the start, being a lot of people's pre-season favourites with all the fascination of what's an aura reader, an aura painter, to the question now begging, how about we read Ava's aura? Because I don't think she's came across very well over the past 24 hours. I'm going to give a little bit of context on what's going on. So, something has switched in Ava. Now, call it a switch or call it true colours, that's up to you. But it seems like she is taking credit for sending Rachel out the door. We're obviously going to get the full details of that on Tuesday's episode, so we'll find out there, but it does seem like she's taking credit for Rachel leaving. And something has switched up where I feel like she has started to get very, very snipey and mean and make nasty remarks. I don't agree with anything she said. I think she's coming across terribly, if I'm being totally honest. Let's talk about it. So there was one point in the middle of the day, she just screamed out in the backyard, "Now that Rachel's gone, all of us are getting more attention. Seriously, y'all are welcome." So there is truth to that in the form that, yeah, Rachel's gone, so people probably will get more attention, but I've started to notice a theme with Ava. I feel like she thinks a lot about what the viewers think of her. I think she has tried to curate an image of herself because we talked yesterday about how she thought she was going to be in the top 3 votes for America's favourite player. Who thinks that? That's just a little bit egotistical, if you ask me. Just more than a little bit conceited. So then, again, there, she's the one to get talking about attention. Nobody else is doing this. So that's weird. And then she also got really, really kind of... And I want to preface this because people are wondering why. Why is Ava saying this? Why is she acting like it was her? She can take credit for sending Rachel out the door. Because I don't know if there's been some kind of safety chain that happened at the White Locust twist. To explain the safety chain, it would mean that somebody would win a competition, that person would save one person, then that person would save one person, and so on and so forth until the last person wasn't saved. Or it sounds like maybe 3 people weren't saved and they were put into a maze. I don't know. Everything's all jumbled up right now. It's a jigsaw. But it seems like Ava might have actually chose Vince instead of Rachel, and I think production were probably shocked at that because they expected Ava to probably save Rachel. But no, it just seems like there's been a shift in Ava. She was brushing her hair in the mirror and she seems very annoyed at Rachel all of a sudden. I'm going to read this out right now. This surprised me when I saw her say it. Yeah, get ready for this. She whispered under her breath about Rachel. Shouldn't have pissed me off. Drop the C-bomb. See you next Tuesday. Yeah. Where did it come from? Who knows? That's what a lot of people are asking right now. And it's begging the question, has Ava actually been putting on a character or putting on a fake image of herself the whole time? Because to me, it's now becoming apparent that I feel like she hung around Rachel so she could get those America's Favourite Player votes. I feel like she used Rachel for clout and then now all of a sudden she's talking crap about her. I really think this is a case of... Y'all ever heard the phrase hurt people hurt people? It's a really true phrase, and I really strongly believe in that one, and I think Ava, has probably been through some stuff in her life, and I think that's why she gets these nasty things come out sometimes, whether it's targeted at Keanu or Rachel or whatever. But I don't know. The whole thing's just left a bad taste in my mouth. I can't help but think, she calls herself an aura painter and reads people's personalities and auras and stuff like that. And to me, it's just starting to feel like a bit of projection now. I don't know. It seems like she is casting all that down on other people, and when really what's inside of her is what she might need to focus on, because the way she's coming across over these past 24 hours, I'm telling you, she's burning AFP votes right now. I said yesterday she'd be in the top 3. I don't even think that anymore after today. I have seen such a shift up in the Big Brother fandom of people going, Ava, you're kind of crossing a line right now and you're kind of coming across as really mean and nasty. And it's similar to what happened with Mickey. It's that kind of downfall where it's like, if you start getting like really kind of negative and these insidious comments start coming out, then it just kind of doesn't come across very, very well at all. And we all know, Rachel brings some negativity sometimes, but I think it's safe to say Mickey and Ava have been way more negative than Rachel has. See, the thing is with Rachel is she can't win an argument for the life of her. She can try, but she can never do that. And so when she tries to land a blow, it never lands and it doesn't work. Whereas Ava and Mickey are like, it's venom and it lands straight away. But then I think because it lands, all of us are kind of going, wow, that was a bit intense. But yeah, definitely Ava hasn't came across well. She was sat in the room that interconnects the bathroom and the dining room, where it's like the little snug area across in the hallway. And she was talking about how, no matter what, she was just talking about like, no matter what happens, I've beat you, you crazy call her a crazy bitch. And there was just all sorts of comments that she's been thrown around that is just kind of people go, where is this came from? She's been up Rachel's arse the entire time, and then all of a sudden now it's like she wants to be the person who is taking credit for it, but it just doesn't come across like that. I think people are just thinking she seems bitter because she also spent the majority of yesterday, more than anybody, complaining about production and saying the game's ruined and that everything's screwed over. It seems like she is she wants to just focus on anybody else but herself. But let's be real, guys. Ava spends 16 hours of the day sleeping, and she says social game doesn't matter. It didn't seem to matter to her before either when she was sleeping 16 hours a day, did it? So amongst all this chaos, Brendan, Rachel's husband, took a moment to issue a statement, and I'm going to read that out regarding his feelings, because we've talked left, right and centre about what this house guest thinks, what this alumni thinks. How about we actually go into the belly of the beast and talk about what Rachel's husband thinks, the person who knows Rachel better than anybody, Rachel's biggest fan, Rachel's biggest champion. Let's hear what he has to say. Of course, Brendan competed on Big Brother, so a lot of us will remember that. For those of you who haven't seen those older seasons, Brendan competed alongside Rachel. They ended up getting married. They've had kids together. Wonderful family. Let's read out what Brendan has had to say. So he says, Big Brother, I have a lot of emotion right now, but few words to express. I found out a couple hours before everyone else while I was at Chuck E. Cheese with my kids. As soon as I got a call from production, I knew. When this twist was announced, there was speculation about how it worked. Once I learned there was a dependency on being selected, ultimately determining likelihood of success, I knew Rachel would be at a disadvantage. I am quite sure that Rachel was under the same impression I was about the game, that we would get we would get a regular Big Brother season without any twists at the jury phase. I don't think production could have fumbled this one harder if they had tried. Also disappointing to hear how much shit Ava has been talking about Rachel since she left. We won't be associating with her or Kelly when all this is finished. I won't let it happen. You know, I would feel the same. I'm just putting myself in those shoes right now. If that was my partner in there, if I, lovely Sam that you all know, if I heard Ava or Kelly say, or anybody for that matter, a single word like that against Sam, I'm not even wasting my time on it. Wouldn't even waste my breath. So yeah, I fully understand where Brendan is with that. Ask yourself that, folks. The person you love most. If somebody in this house was talking the same way, whether you like Rachel or not, ask yourself that. When Rachel first agreed to this, we knew the odds were slim. And when I learned she only had a week of protection, I knew they were even less. That being said, Rachel went to play this summer because she loves Big Brother and she loves competing on reality TV. All of us do it chasing money, but there are a few who do it for the love of the game. And she is one of them. I commend my wife for not having touched the nomination block once in this season. Yeah, that's really impressive. I've talked about that, and it's, again, mind-blowing to me that you can go from that to just out like that. Which is insane, given that she was a returning winner. That's what Brendan said. She showed once again that she is one of the best competitors on reality TV. I look at the remaining cast and have trouble finding a single winner I could get behind, because I'm quite sure Ashley and Will are going to have no shot from here on out. Yeah, I would love Will to win personally. That's just me, but there's a few people in there that I'd be okay with winning for sure, but there's just a weird shift, isn't there, in the game? That's all. But anyway, enough about my tangent. I could get behind a Keanu win, but he will have to comp out for the win, which is much tougher to do in BB. Yeah, he's definitely front runner right now, I think, as the person with the biggest threat level, but they are... I'm not even kidding. I want to take a moment to talk about this. The house guests have literally changed strategy. Like, the whole thing has turned on its head, and they're saying they have to get Keanu out because he can win competitions. And all the house guests have gone, this isn't a social game anymore. Literally every single one of them has had that conversation and said, this isn't a social game anymore. After that, it's a competition game. So we need to get out the people who can win competitions. That says a lot when the whole house has to literally change the strategy. Man. The only remaining bit of solace I have is in pushing Rachel for America's Favourite Player. Without Rachel, this season would have been a dud. Fact. The other push... he said fact. The other push we need is for Rachel to do Survivor and become the first player to compete on all three. She deserves it and she has earned it. I will continue to watch because as long as she is in that jury house, she will still be a part of the show. Having said that, I will not be surprised when the ratings start tanking because you've removed the heart of your season. I have been collecting snapshots of all the outpourings of love and disgust with how it went down, so Rachel will know how much love she has outside of the BB walls when she is out. We have been throwing weekly watch parties in Birmingham, and as much as I would love to throw away this season and walk away, we have built a community of BB fandom on here and in real life. One thing that has been important to us is family, and we will never turn our backs on family. Big or small, there is room for all of you. Thank you for the love and support. It means a lot to our family. I could not be prouder of Rachel and how she played this season. For the first time, many of you got to see what I already knew. Aside from being great TV, she is a strategist, a strong competitor, and most of all, a beautiful person inside and out. Let our mourning persist through the weekend and take to the streets to litter social media with Rachel for AFP and show her how much she meant to this season with a heavy heart. Brendan. Now, wow, that's how a husband delivers a statement. I'm impressed. That's... wow. Well done, Brendan. An outpouring of love there to his wife. Again, left with a tough taste in his mouth there. And that's what I would like everybody to do right now. And not everyone's going to agree, and that's okay. But what I want you all to do, whether you like Rachel or not, is I want you to put yourself in Brendan's shoes right now. Or ask yourself, if that was your wife, if that was your husband, if that was your spouse, how would you feel if they went that long without touching the block, arguably the biggest threat in the house, and then all of a sudden they were gone, just like that, after the feeds were gone off? How would you feel about that? Because I wouldn't be happy. I'd be climbing the wall to make sure that they sent Sam back into the house. And I think what Brendan said there was beautifully put and definitely resonated with a lot of people and summed up, I think, a lot of people's feelings. So that's Brendan's statement on Rachel being eliminated from Big Brother 27. That is all of your live feed updates for today, folks. I thoroughly hope you all enjoyed watching. I'm going to remind you all that the mail video is up. It was so much fun. I have loved reading the comments of people really enjoying the video. And I will remind you all that there is another mail video at the end of the season. So send in things to the PO box. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to throw a bunch of states on screen. These are the states that we have not received any mail from. So if you want to send in a postcard or send in a package for us to open on the next one, because I mean this when I say it, guys, the next mail video, it's going to be as good as what you guys put into it. So if there's more things for us to open and more things for us to read out, then the video is going to be meatier, better, and more fun. So these states right now, folks, these are the ones that we need to hear from. So if you are in these states right now, please help out. Send in a postcard with the address on screen. We would love to hear from you. Folks, I've got a few super thanks before we close things out, and we're going to start off with David Cushmore. I'm going to throw David Cushmore's on screen because it's pretty long. So if you want to pause this right now to read David Cushmore's, do it right now. Thank you so much, David, and I completely agree with you. I think Vince has a higher chance of winning the game now because Rachel's not there. It's a definite talking point now. I think another thing that a lot of people have been left kind of wanting was there was so much build-up of Rachel versus Vince. Who's going to get the other one out first? And then if, whoever it was, and then it would come down maybe to the wire, Rachel versus Keanu, because I've been looking at what Keanu's been saying over the past few days, and he's been talking out loud to himself and saying, Rachel, it was supposed to be us two in the final two. I don't want to beat these guys. I want to beat you. And that would have been a really epic final two, and it looks like these two might be leaving back to back, which is going to be terrible for ratings. I can't even believe that. But yeah, Vince definitely stands more of a chance now, and I'm very happy that NXT's doing Halloween stuff. That warms my heart. It's the first time I've been a WWE fan in the fall, so very excited to see what they bring. And pumpkin spice latte from Starbucks. I'm drinking currently the iced pumpkin sugar cookie coffee from Dunkin'. That's a mouthful, isn't it, folks? But it's very tasty. Thank you, David. Next up, we've got the wonderful Walk-Off 9, also known as Mama. Mama says, Tom, you are such a gracious host and deserving of everything that you just unboxed. Well, Mama sent in some amazing peanut brittle and some really cool shirts, and I love the postcards Mama sends in as well. He goes to Disney and takes all these different pictures and then puts them on postcards, which I love. So, I've got all these different postcards now. One with like Epcot in the center, with the Spaceship Earth and the Tree of Life in Animal Kingdom, and there's so many cool ones. I love it. And it says, Sam, I hope you're feeling better. Yes, Sam is definitely feeling better now. Tom, have you considered doing 2 more PO Box videos instead of 1? Yeah, so that was a pretty long video, but here's the thing. I mean, I I think it's fun having those meaty videos, but I'm also like, I'm not limiting it to just one more. Whatever gets sent, because I'm still going to be here through the fall covering other TV shows and coming up to Christmas as well. So I'm sure there'll be more stuff to unbox around then. So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying this isn't going to be the last PO Box video of the year. I'm sure there'll be more. This was a long one. I must have taken some time to edit. Yeah, I want to give credit to the wonderful Sam for editing. Sam did an amazing job there because I've obviously been chock-a-block and very busy with doing these updates. So Sam was very kind to edit the mail video. Come on, Minnesota peeps, I can't do this alone. Send in those postcards. Yeah, folks, when I tell you that Mama is carrying Minnesota on his back, incredible. He said it's so many, and Minnesota is very high on the leaderboard right now because of that. Florida is also pretty high, so if you want to keep those Florida numbers up, Florida viewers, come on, do it for Florida. Send them in right now. But yeah, there's a race kind of towards the top. I'm telling you, off the top of my head, I believe we had quite a few from California, Florida, Minnesota, and Canada, actually. So I'll do a call to action to Canadians right now. Canadians, y'all want to beat the Americans? That would be so funny if I said, let's get one from every single state, and then Canada ends up being the highest one. Canadians, y'all have got the spirit of a lion. Send them through right now. I believe in you. We're brothers, Canadian and Brits. Like, come on. Show up, folks. Canadians, send them in. And also Minnesota, help Mama out. Thank you so much, Mama. I appreciate you, my friend. Next up, we've got the wonderful Sharon Packneck, or Pachinek. I hope I pronounced that correctly, but Sharon, love your name, Sharon. I love the way it's spelt with a Y. And Sharon says, thanks, I appreciate your thoughts on this whole thing, Tom. Have a coffee on me. I love Duncan too. Well, Sharon, with a Duncan in hand, cheers to you, my darling. I appreciate you. That's very, very kind. I will definitely, I'll take you up on that offer and have that coffee on you. Thank you so much, Sharon. You are amazing. Have an amazing day, my love. And then we've got one more from David Cushmore. And this one reads, hi Tom, Chima was on season 11. Kelly is the most delusional house guest in Big Brother. She is playing the game like Paul. Evil Dick was the obnoxious player in season 8 and he won season 8. Dead bugs as decorations is the funniest thing I've ever heard of. Kelly, you're a clown for saying that in Big Brother. Have some Starbucks pumpkin spice latte and Halloween M&Ms. Thank you so much, David. Yeah, those dead bugs as decorations. There's two trains of thought. That's Kelly, or she's trying to be quirky and different. Either way, I don't like it. Thank you, David Cushmore. That is all that we've got time for today, folks. I thoroughly hope you all enjoyed watching. I hope that you're all staying safe, staying positive and staying healthy out there. And be kind to one another. And head out to the P.O. box, folks, or head out to your local post office station to send a postcard or a package. I would love to hear from you soon. But I hope that you're all staying safe, staying positive, staying healthy out there. Remember to be kind to one another. But in the meantime, please don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, do all of that wonderful stuff. But until your next live feed update, I've been your host, Tom Vasey. Good night.